Be me, Claire. Feminist who spent way too much time reading about male privilege. Convinced men get automatic respect just for being born with certain anatomy. Always argued online about how unfair society is to women. See guys like Daniel from my hometown with his military medal. Think he got respect handed to him on silver platter because testosterone. Decide to prove women can earn same treatment if given chance. Brilliant plan. Join Army as volunteer. Going to show everyone that gender doesn't determine worth. Picture myself becoming inspiration to women everywhere. Tell my friends about decision over coffee. Reactions are mixed as expected. Some think I'm brave pioneer breaking barriers. Others quietly think I'm naive idealist. One friend asks if I really know what I'm getting into. Brush off concerns with confidence of someone who read empowerment blogs. Quote statistics about women in combat roles. Talk about breaking glass ceilings and proving points. Inside, feel excited about upcoming vindication of my beliefs. Convinced this will be challenging but ultimately rewarding. Spend weeks before shipping out researching military life. Read articles about female soldiers succeeding. Watch documentaries about women in combat. Skip over parts about casualties and trauma. Focus on stories of triumph and recognition. Ignore warnings about harsh realities. Think those are just outdated stereotypes. Pack bags with confidence of someone about to make history. Include journal to document my groundbreaking experience. Ready to demolish gender stereotypes through sheer determination. Morning of departure, look in mirror one last time. See determined young woman about to prove important point. Hair styled perfectly, makeup subtle but present. Think about photo opportunities when I return victorious. Imagine giving interviews about my experience. Picture Daniel and other guys having to acknowledge my achievement. Board bus to training facility with head held high. This is my moment to show what real equality looks like. Other passengers are a mix of nervous young men. Some look like they're going to execution. Think to myself how dramatic they're being. Arrive at training base full of excitement and nervous energy. Expect some recognition for being female volunteer. Maybe special acknowledgement for choosing to serve. Instead, get immediate reality check from Sergeant Miller. This man's voice could strip paint off brick walls, bellows at everyone like we're all equally worthless maggots. No distinction between male and female recruits. Just fresh meat for the military grinder. First shock, nobody cares about my gender statement. Not even curious about why I joined. Get herded into processing line with everyone else. Forms to fill out, medical checks, equipment distribution. Whole process feels mechanical and impersonal. Expected at least some curiosity about my motivation. Instead, treated like just another number in system. Guy next to me asks why I joined. Start explaining about proving women's capabilities. He just nods politely and changes subject to sports. Beginning to realize my mission isn't as noteworthy as I thought. Other recruits seem more worried about surviving than impressed by my presence. Hair gets shaved off like everyone else. Watch carefully maintained style fall to floor in clumps. No ceremony, no acknowledgement of sacrifice. Just another step in standardization process. Feel first pang of doubt as I see reflection. Look exactly like every other scared recruit now. Gender invisible under military buzz cut. Start questioning if this visual equality is what I wanted. Sergeant Miller doesn't care about anyone's former identity. First night in barracks is rude awakening. Sleeping quarters are basic metal bunks and lockers. No privacy, no comfort, just functional space. Other recruits settling in around me. Mix of scared kids and determined adults. Nobody seems particularly interested in my presence. Chloe, another female recruit, nervous, laughs at everything, even when drill instructor screams about lights out. Her anxiety is contagious and unsettling. Realize I'm not only woman here, but we're outnumbered 20 to 1. wake-up call comes at ungodly hour before dawn. Sergeant Miller's voice echoing through building like air raid siren. Stumble out of bed with everyone else. No time for morning routine or mental preparation. Immediate rush to formation outside. Cold air hits like physical slap. Formation is lesson in military hierarchy. We are bottom of food chain, lower than dirt. Equal opportunity degradation for all genders. Miller doesn't care about anyone's background or motivation. Physical training begins immediately and brutally. Push-ups until arms give out completely. Sit-ups until abs scream in protest. Running that makes lungs burn like fire. Obstacle course designed to break spirits. Watch tough-looking guys struggle just as much as me. Some actually perform worse than I do. Starting to understand this isn't about gender advantages. It's about pushing everyone past their breaking point. No special treatment for anyone regardless of chromosomes. Body starts aching in places I didn't know existed. Hands develop painful blisters from constant training. Feet covered in sores from ill-fitting boots. Sleep deprivation makes everything feel surreal. Thought my ideological conviction would carry me through. But physical limits don't care about feminist theory. Start having dangerous thoughts about whether I overestimated myself. Maybe men really are naturally stronger. Get angry at myself for thinking that way. Remember, I came here to prove equality through action. Mess hall becomes place of quiet solidarity. Recruits share extra food when someone looks ready to collapse. Conversations are brief but meaningful. Complaints about sore muscles and brutal schedule. Nobody discusses politics or gender theory. Survival becomes only topic worth discussing. Watch other recruits struggle with homesickness. Realize even tough guys have breaking points. My assumptions about male stoicism cracking like my blisters. See vulnerability in people I thought were automatically privileged. First encounter with weapons training. Handling rifle feels heavier than expected. Accuracy requires patience and steady hands I don't have. Male recruits don't automatically excel at marksmanship. Some women in my group outshoot several guys. Sergeant Miller criticizes poor performance regardless of gender. Screams at everyone with equal intensity and creativity. Beginning to see that competence matters more than anatomy. Respect comes from results, not biological lottery. My feminist theory didn't account for this complexity. Chloe's nervous laughter getting more frequent and hysterical. Starts giggling during serious briefings about combat tactics. Other recruits beginning to avoid her unstable energy. I try talking to her during rare free moments. She admits feeling overwhelmed by constant pressure. Says she joined to prove something to her ex-boyfriend. Realize we both came here trying to prove points to others. Maybe motivations matter less than ability to endure. Her instability making me question my own mental strength. Weeks pass, an unofficial hierarchy starts emerging. Older recruits who've been here longer assert dominance over newcomers. Not the formal chain of command, but something more primitive. They call us fresh meat and spirits. Expect us to clean their equipment, do their laundry, perform menial tasks while they rest. This isn't in any manual I read about military equality. System operates on unwritten rules nobody explained. Gender doesn't matter here either. Abuse is equal opportunity. First real encounter with hazing happens late one night, when officers aren't around to witness. Senior recruits surround group of newcomers, including me. Force us to scrub floors with toothbrushes, wash their uniforms by hand, perform ridiculous tasks like find left boot for right foot in dark. Watch fellow recruit get slapped for being slow to answer question. My sense of justice explodes inside. Want to protest, but other newcomers frantically signal me to stay quiet. My turn for personal humiliation comes soon enough. Senior recruit they call Bruiser singles me out. Orders me to clean entire bathroom alone while others rest. Scrub every surface until it's spotless. takes hours, and leaves hands raw and bleeding. Want to argue about fairness and teamwork. But other recruits shoot me warning looks. Understand that protesting will only make things worse. Spend nights silently scrubbing, jaw clenched with anger and shame. Another night brings different torture. Forced to stand guard over Bruiser's locker for hours, holding heavy training rifle at attention position, arms screaming with pain but can't lower weapon. If I drop it, punishment gets worse for everyone. This is equality I asked for, but not how I imagined it. Bruiser laughs when I try to explain why this is unfair. Says if I wanted special treatment, I should have stayed home. Realize he's treating me exactly like male recruits get treated. Witness systematic breaking down of other recruits. Guy next to me crying quietly as he scrubs floors. Another recruit forced to do jumping jacks until he collapses. Quiet kid gets worse treatment for showing fear. Confident athlete who mouths off gets broken down hardest. Pattern isn't based on gender, but perceived weakness. Everyone here goes through this systematic humiliation. Starting to understand this is how military hierarchy actually works. Physical training intensifies as time passes. Marching with full packs that cut into shoulders, obstacle courses in full gear under blazing sun, long runs that leave half the unit vomiting. Watch recruits of all backgrounds struggle equally. Some quit during particularly brutal session. No shame in their departure, just quiet understanding. Those who remain bond through shared suffering. Gender becomes irrelevant detail compared to endurance. Combat simulation exercise becomes major test. Teams assigned randomly without regard for gender balance. My team includes mix of personalities and abilities. Have to work together to complete mission objectives. No time for gender politics when simulated bullets flying overhead. Focus entirely on survival and success. Discover teamwork transcends social categories I used to obsess over. Adrenaline makes everything else seem trivial. Performance under pressure matters more than anything else. During exercise, teammate gets wounded in simulation. My responsibility to evacuate him to safety. Guy is twice my size and dead weight. Struggle to drag him across rough terrain. Other team members provide covering fire. Manage to complete evacuation despite physical disadvantage. Feel genuine pride and accomplishment. But pride comes from helping teammate, not proving gender point. Starting to understand different kind of satisfaction than I expected. After a particularly brutal episode of nighttime hazing, when all newcomers forced to do push-ups in mud and rain as punishment, I reach emotional breaking point. Physically exhausted with bruises on palms from rocky ground, uniform soaked and filthy, mentally drained from constant humiliation. Respect I dreamed about nowhere to be found. Senior recruits just smirk with contempt. Fellow newcomers look as beaten down as I feel. Lying in bunk afterward, stare at ceiling and think. Romantic ideas about military brotherhood were completely naive. Soldier bonding happens through pain and humiliation, not through inspiring speeches about equality. Men I thought had automatic privileges suffer right beside me. Bunkmate groans from back pain after brutal day. Quiet kid secretly cries reading letter from home. In this shared misery, I find bitter taste of real equality. We're all equally powerless against military machine and senior recruits. Catch reflection in barracks window during formation. Tired, hollow-eyed face with grimly set mouth. Barely recognize cheerful, defiant girl who arrived months ago. Idealism has been ground down by daily reality. But something new growing inside, stubborn endurance and solidarity. Think to myself without former bravado, if the guys around me can get through this, so can I. Not about proving feminist point anymore, just about personal survival and not abandoning teammates. Realize I'm changing in ways I didn't expect. Physically stronger, but emotionally drained, thought process shifting from idealistic to practical, less concerned with proving points, more focused on surviving each day, still not ready to abandon my original mission, but starting to question what equality actually means. Maybe it's not about getting same treatment. Maybe it's about enduring same hardships. Need to push through to see where this leads. Year later, almost time for discharge. Everything changed about me since that breaking point. No longer confused newcomer, but senior soldier. Other recruits look at me with mix of respect and wariness. Not because I'm special woman, but because I survived when others didn't. Physically transformed, lean, muscled, sun-weathered. Movements confident and economical, like someone who knows their worth. Finally have the respect I came here seeking, but it tastes different than expected. Remember lying in that bunk staring at ceiling months ago, thinking, if guys around me can get through this, so can I. Well, I did get through it, became one of them. Chloe never made it back from administrative transfer. Heard she got medical discharge for psychological breakdown. Makes me realize how close I came to same fate. Sitting in same barracks now, but as one of the senior ones, the ones who control newcomers' lives now. New batch of fresh recruits arrives month before my discharge. Watching them stumble off bus brings back memories. Scared kids with unrealistic expectations about military life, some cocky, some terrified, all equally unprepared. Among them is a young woman who makes my stomach twist with recognition. She's got same eager determination I had year ago. Announces loudly during introduction that she's here to prove women deserve equal treatment. Other veterans exchange knowing looks and barely concealed smirks. This new girl, call her Masha, is painful mirror of my former self. Same speeches about equality and breaking barriers. Same naive confidence that theory will carry her through reality. Watching her brings back flood of shame about my own arrogance. How insufferable I must have sounded making those proclamations. How little I understood about what I was walking into. Part of me wants to warn her, but system doesn't work that way. She needs to learn the hard way, like everyone else. First night after, new arrivals settle in. Senior soldiers gathering for a traditional welcome ceremony. Time to introduce newcomers to real military hierarchy. Not the official one from manuals, but brutal social order that actually runs things. My fellow veterans expect me to participate. After all, I suffered through same treatment. Now it's my turn to be on giving end instead of receiving. Chance to pay forward what was done to me. Watching preparations brings back vivid memories. Remember my own first night when seniors surrounded us. Forced to do push-ups until collapse, scrub floors with toothbrushes. Systematic humiliation designed to break down civilian identity. Understand now, it was necessary part of transformation. Creates bonds through shared suffering and submission to hierarchy. System perpetuates itself as former victims become enforcers. My turn to continue the cycle that made me who I am. Masha stands among 5 terrified newcomers in empty barracks after lights out. Wide eyes reflecting same mix of fear and defiance I once had. Senior soldier called Thunder starts usual ritual, forcing them to do squats, sing ridiculous songs, push-ups on knuckles. I watch from my position, remembering being in their place. My service buddy Sergei nudges me with his elbow. Come on, help with discipline. Show that feminist how things really work here. Moment of truth arrives. Step forward as everyone expects. Remember my own suffering year ago, how I wanted rescue. But also remember how that suffering forged me into who I am now. Look at Masha's defiant eyes and see my old naive self. Make decision that feels inevitable. Grab Masha by shoulder and push her toward cleaning supplies. You heard Thunder. Floor needs scrubbing with toothbrush. Move it, recruit, participate fully in same ritual that once broke me down. Masha looks at me with shock and complete betrayal. Probably expected solidarity from another woman. But that kind of thinking doesn't survive here long. Other newcomers see there's no special protection coming, begin their own humiliating tasks without further protest. Seniors nod approvingly at my participation, earned my place in hierarchy through suffering, now defending it. This is how the system works, how it's always worked. Over following days, continue participating in newcomer discipline, force Masha to wash my uniforms by hand, make her stand guard over my equipment for hours, assign her worst cleaning duties while I relax. Same punishments I endured now flowing through me to next generation. She keeps looking at me with hurt confusion, clearly expected different treatment from another woman. But military doesn't recognize those civilian categories. Watch Masha struggle with same realization I had. Physical training pushing her past limits she didn't know existed. Discovering that ideological conviction means nothing to exhausted muscles. Seeing tough guys cry and weak-looking kids persevere. All her theories about gender advantages crumbling under daily reality. Same journey I took from idealism to pragmatism, except now I'm on the other side watching it happen. Masha tries approaching me privately one evening. I don't understand. I thought you'd be different. We're both women here. Look at her with mixture of pity and annoyance. That's your first mistake, thinking gender matters here. Military doesn't care what's between your legs, only what you can endure. I earned my place, same way you'll earn yours, through pain and discipline. No shortcuts, no special treatment, no sisterhood. Her face crumples with disappointment. Probably thought she'd found ally in hostile environment, but I learned hard lesson about what equality actually means. It means everyone gets broken down equally. Everyone suffers equally to earn their place. Civilian ideas about gender solidarity are luxury you can't afford here. Survival depends on accepting military hierarchy, not fighting it. Major field exercise scheduled for final weeks. Mixed squads of veterans and newcomers. Assigned to lead team including Masha and several others. Chance to demonstrate leadership skills developed over past year. Also opportunity to show newcomers what real standards look like. No coddling, no consideration for their feelings or civilian sensitivities. During long march with full equipment, one of younger soldiers starts falling behind on steep incline. Masha struggling too, but trying to hide it. Other veterans suggest leaving stragglers to catch up later. Remember my own struggles with physical demands, but also remember that pushing through made me stronger. Keep up or fall out, your choice, but squad doesn't wait for weakness. Tactical phase brings simulated enemy contact. Newcomers panic under pressure as expected. Masha freezes when simulation starts, drops to ground in terror. Veteran takes simulated hit, needs evacuation. Moment when all my training crystallizes. Take command without hesitation, bark orders with absolute authority. Masha, get the wounded to cover, stop cowering and move. This is what you signed up for, now prove you can handle it. Squad responds to my commands because I've earned their respect. Not through gender solidarity, but through demonstrated competence. Newcomers follow orders because they understand consequences of failure. Veterans respect my tactical decisions despite recent arrival. Complete mission objectives through discipline and training. No participation trophies, no special consideration for anyone's feelings. After-action briefing with commanding officers. Our squad noted for maintaining standards and completing objectives. Commander addresses me directly. Solid leadership under pressure, soldier. That's what we expect from our non-commissioned officers. Recognition. I dreamed about for over a year finally arrives, but feels different than imagined moment of feminist triumph, earned through competence in military system, not by changing it. Final weeks before discharge filled with reflection, helping prepare newcomers for responsibilities they'll inherit, sharing practical knowledge about survival and advancement. Masha approaches me one last time before I leave. Was it worth it? All the pain and humiliation? Pause before answering with hard-won wisdom. Pain builds character. Humiliation teaches hierarchy. Both are necessary. Continue conversation with Masha in private moment. I came here thinking I'd prove feminism could work in military. Thought I'd change the system, show everyone women deserved special consideration. Learned instead that military changes you, not other way around. There's no place for feminism here, no room for civilian gender politics. Only room for soldiers who can follow orders and complete missions. If you want to survive and earn respect, forget everything you learned about women's rights. Masha stares at me with growing understanding. So, we just accept everything? Never fight for better treatment? Shake my head firmly. You fight for your country, your unit, your mission. Nothing else matters. Equality here means everyone suffers equally to prove their worth. No special consideration, no different standards, no sisterhood. Just soldiers doing their jobs regardless of what's between their legs. That's the only equality that works in military. Final formation for discharge ceremony. Commander hands over military records with brief commendation. Private Claire, you served with distinction. Good luck, citizen. Voice carries respect earned through demonstrated reliability under pressure. Fellow soldiers shake hands, exchange contact information. Some give small farewell gifts as tokens of shared experience. Genuine camaraderie built through common suffering and mutual support. Walking toward base exit with heavy duffel bag, pass formation of newcomers drilling under sergeant's supervision. Masha catches my eye briefly across parade ground, no longer looks at me with expectation of special treatment, beginning to understand what military service actually requires. Give her professional nod of acknowledgement, nothing more. She straightens up and focuses on her training. Step through base gates into civilian world for first time in year. Arrived as idealistic feminist, convinced of systemic gender advantages, leaving as experienced soldier with realistic understanding of military hierarchy. Didn't change the system or prove feminist theory. Instead learned that some institutions demand complete submission to function. Military effectiveness requires abandoning civilian social categories, including feminism and all its assumptions about special treatment. Final thoughts as base disappears behind me. Not the crusader for women's rights I plan to become, but definitely not the naive idealist who arrived either. Somewhere between those extremes found actual soldier, who learned that military has no use for gender politics, only for people willing to endure whatever service demands, respect earned through performance, not through identity. In military, feminism is luxury you can't afford if you want to survive.